What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cam, sitting here with my lovely wife. We are your two lovely hosts for the podcast. Everything is we. Why don't you do us a favor right now? Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and hit the like button. Before you do anything else, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell. You know what aggravates me? Some people say bell notification. Hit the bell notification.
It's the same thing.
No, hit the notification bell. You don't say bell door, you say doorbell.
Well, doorbell is one word.
But
Notification bell is not one word.
it can be. In the context of content.
Notification describes the bell, so that's why it has to be first.
See? That's why I married you. But anyway, yeah, do those three things for us. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get right into the show. Hopefully you all loved the pod last week. You guys seem like you did. It's doing pretty decent. We got some good comments, some good feedback. And yes, you have to be mindful of your attractions. Your attractions either help you or hurt you. But that was last week. This week, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with my vow.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with my vow, and then we can get to yours. My verse of the week is Psalms 121, verses 1 and 2. So it's vows. And the Bible says, reading from the New King James Version, I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. And I had a revelation.
I'm pretty sure you've done that before.
I may have, but I had another revelation.
Because I sang that last time.
I had another revelation in regard to this particular scripture. It says, I will look to the hills. It's difficult to see where your help comes from if you're always looking down or if you're always looking at your problems. Like when you shift your perspective, when you shift your focus, you can actually see where your help comes from. And a lot of times when I read scripture, I kind of try to put myself in the writer's shoes or try to feel what they were feeling, or like, man, if I was in this position, what would, like, I will look to the hills. And hills don't necessarily mean, you know, some of the hills in your neighborhood. Hills could mean mountains. Hills could, I mean, in that particular day and age, right, a hill was a pretty big deal. And so when you're looking up, when you're looking to heaven, to the author and finisher of our faith, like that's when you can see where your help is coming from. And so the quick message in that is just don't be so caught up in your problems and you're looking down when God is calling you to look higher. God is telling you to shift your focus and put your focus on him so he can really give you the help and the guidance that you really need. Because, you know, the weight of the world, the weight of life can sometimes cause you to just, oh, man, and people say, oh, man, I'm just trying to keep my head down and just grind. You got to look up sometime. You know, people that drive with their head down, they're not good drivers. You got to look up.
They probably don't make it to their destination.
You got, ooh.
That or looking back.
It's hard. Oh,
because we all know what happens when you look back.
Girl, you are preaching. It's hard to get to your destination.
Lot's wife.
If your eyes aren't focused on where you're going.
Can't drive looking in the rearview mirror.
If you're always looking back. Here's another revelation. This is good. That's why I married you. It's dangerous. It becomes dangerous when you try to move forward while looking back. Mm-hmm. You can hurt people. You can damage people. You can damage your vehicle. You can damage the vehicle that God has blessed you with to get you from point A to point B. And you can damage yourself. Here it is. A lot of us are frustrated, angry, and upset at other people for damage that we've caused to ourselves. Where's Mike Todd? He needs me to preach
Bleeding on people that didn't cut
at
you.
Transformation. What happens when you're the one that did the damage?
People don't know how to forgive themselves, though. I've learned this. Well, number one, I don't know if I said this on a previous pod. Did I say this? That 80% of people are not self-aware?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure in that 80%, most of those people also don't know how to forgive themselves. Because if you're not self-aware, then you don't know when you've been holding yourself hostage. But a lot of people don't know how to forgive themselves. Like, they can't get past stuff that happened like a long time ago.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's always unique when I have time to consecration. Like, God speaks to me. God always speaks to me, but like the pastor I was listening to as well, when you make room for God to speak to you, you can hear him so much clearer. Like, when you don't fill your head up with all of these random voices, you can hear God so much clearer. So as we were driving to go shoot content earlier today, I literally just had a vision of a message. I was like, oh, like, and in this particular message, it was something that I've kind of done before, but it brought back up, God brought back up the imagery in my mind. We used to have these bags at our church that our dance team, Feet of Praise, used. They were called My Way bags. But outside of the My Way bags, there could be things like, okay, it could be a bag of My Way, or it could be a trauma bag, or it could be a self-esteem bag, an insecurity bag. Like, all of these things, God tells us to cast your care. Here's another verse we've talked about it. Cast your cares on me because I care for you. A lot of us are trying to walk around with baggage that God is telling us to give to him, but we instead feel like it's our responsibility to carry the baggage. And this is why we go into relationships with our insecurity luggage. We go to relationships with our attraction baggage. We go to relationships with our trauma baggage. And God is like, you can't make room for healthy relationships if you continue to carry your bad relationships, your bad traumas, your past hurts with you everywhere you go. And so that's why I love what you said. It's so important for us, number one, to be self-aware. And the only way we can be self-aware is if we get closer to the one that created us,
Right?
God. God says, I'm preaching for real now. God says, before I formed you in Jeremiah, before I formed you in your mother's belly, I knew you. So the reason why so many of us have an identity crisis, because we've been going to all the wrong sources trying to figure out who we are instead of the one that created us.
I was gonna say that the problem with not being self-aware and like bringing your baggage to other relationships is you be looking for those people to fix you. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where like when people like want to get married really bad, or they want to have baby, or they have baby fever, they want to have a baby really bad because they want to heal something in them that's broken. But you can't use somebody else to fix your issues. You have to fix your issues. Like, that's why I always harp on, if you single, you right now, you don't need to be thinking about nobody else but you. This is the only time in your life where you get that opportunity. That's actually a blessing. Like, it's actually like an advantage that you have, because you have all the time in the world to think about yourself. It's the one time where you can think about you without having to take care of somebody else, worry about somebody else. Use that time wisely to fix as much as you can about yourself. Become self-aware. Figure out what your problems are, what your triggers are, so you don't go into your next relationship or going to having children severely damaged. Because what you're going to do is bleed on your children.
Yes.
And then make them resent you because you treated them like they were God. I didn't go into having a baby thinking that he was going to fix me or heal me from anything. But now that I have one, I see how people do that, and it ruins them, and it ruins their child's relationship with them. Like you, because it's a trap. Because babies, at least Xander, from my perspective, like they love you so much. This kid is like attached to me all the time. Like I'd be like, Laos, hold on, I got a husband. Okay, you can't be on me like this all day. I gotta be on my husband too. Okay, but like if I wasn't in a healthy frame of mind, like if I was not mentally all the way there, I would be like enamored with my child and put him in a place that he's not supposed to be in emotionally. And that's how a lot of women end up having these bad relationships with their daughter-in-law, or like have these relationships with their kid where they can't let them go. They can't let them do nothing outside of them. Like, oh no, you here from me. You supposed to take care of me. You supposed to. Nah, bruh. It's because they didn't heal from some stuff, and you was looking for somebody to fix you, and you put that on your kid, or you put that on a spouse. Some people do that with their spouse. They idolize their spouse because they want them to heal them. Like, oh, my husband healed me. Oh, he's responsible for my. You cannot replace the healing power that God has with humans. Okay, so. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
And
that was my spiel.
You know, when we talk about self-awareness, healing, deliverance, like we talked a lot about, we touched on last week as well. What I see oftentimes is too many people want to substitute something.
Yep.
A substitution is different than a replacement.
Right.
A substitution is, you know, I'm a big sports guy. When someone is subbed in, it's a temporary thing.
Right.
Like eventually the starters or whatever, like eventually you're going to get subbed back out and you may get subbed back in. Like it's continual. Mm-hmm. You may be a part of the heavy rotation. So, you know, you may be on 6, minute splits where you're in for 6 minutes, you off for 6 minutes, in for 6 minutes, right? That's teetering back and forth, right? The Bible says be hot or cold. Jesus can't stand lukewarm folks. And too many of us are lukewarm in our approach. It's like, well, I don't totally want to give that away.
Right.
I want to substitute this. Well, I'm going to try this for a little while.
That's also.
And see if this works. That's
also something that I talk about with like holistic health, because people often look at supplementation as a replacement for actually like changing your lifestyle. Like they try to use supplements like drugs, and it don't work like that.
Correct.
Like you cannot have a supplement plan, which is why I don't tell people what supplements I take, because I'm like, you have to figure out what works for your body, because your body's missing something and you have to supplement that. But that doesn't mean that you just take a whole bunch of supplements and you still eat however you want and don't work out and don't sleep, and you still, it's a whole process. Like it's a holistic approach, means the whole thing. You have to do all of it together. It all works together because your body all works together. So like you can't take some vitamin C, but you still out here eating dairy if you know you can't breathe when you eat dairy. Like you still gonna be sick, bruh. Like you gotta do right. You have to change everything. It's like the holistic approach requires you to take into account everything that you're doing. That's why you have to know yourself. That's why that's important to be self-aware. You have to know what you can do and what you can't do, what your body, because it's you, is not what they can do and then try to copy.
Yes.
You have to figure it out for yourself.
Everybody's plan is tailor-made.
Right.
It's like a custom suit. You know, you can't say, hey, Cam, like, man, send me your specs. Like, bro, no.
Yeah, right.
Because my body is different than yours.
Right.
Like, this was tailor-made for me. This was custom-made for me. Also, a lot of us want to find substitutions or quick fixes for things that we have done over a period of time
Yeah.
to get ourselves in a mess.
You did a lot of damage.
So
It'll take a lot to get out of there.
you can't expect one little pill to fix 10 years of trauma that you've been doing to yourself. Mm-hmm. One pill is not going to fix 10 years of bad eating. One pill is not going to fix 10 years of bad decisions. One pill is not going to fix 20 years of you continuing to make this decision. And so a lot of us, we try to do these quick things. Oh, hey, man, I'm trying to do this in X amount of time. Oh, yeah, I want to have, like, bro, like, you've been eating bad all year. Like, you're not going to just flip a switch.
Right.
And in 2 days, like,
I'm learning this now in abundance. Okay. I'm learning this now because having a baby, it's harder to recover from having a baby than it is to make one. And it took me 9 months to create this human, but it's going to take me like 2-3 years to recover from what my body just went through. But it's like not people expect, but we're just so used to like being who we were before that. Like we be like, dang, like I just want to get back to who I was before. But that's over. Like I have to start over and build a whole new me. But it's taking time. And it sucks because I just want to like be normal again. But like there's so much that I have to go through to get back to, or not even get back to, but like get to like a new sense of self that isn't the same as before. Because now I have a whole kid. So it's totally different now. But I have to like give myself grace too, because I'm like, okay, like now I have like a new perspective on life, and I have to take that and also figure things out as a mom now. Yeah. And it's so weird. It's so weird. And that's why I'm like, oh, you have to be focused on like what you can work on today. Don't think about the future because you don't know what the worries are going to be in the future anyways. Like there were things that I was worried about before having a baby. Like there were things that I was already stressed about in that past tense of myself. But I had no idea what the stress would look like today. So I couldn't be worried about it back then because I didn't know what I was going to be worried about now. So just worry about what you got going on right now, bro. That's what I'm like, bro. If you single, if you ain't got no kids, whatever it is that you're like waiting for, just like don't think about it and focus on what you got to focus on right now. Worry about the baggage that you already got and try to like deal with that, because you don't want to bring that into the next thing. And then now you got those troubles and your past troubles too. You're going to be lagging. You're going to be dragging a whole bunch of stuff at once, because every season has its struggles.
Yep.
Okay. What's the crazy thing is, like, I feel like we were doing those like marriage Q&As every year, and we were talking about like all the different things that we learned every year and like the stuff that we like, you know, how we were growing in our marriage and stuff. But it's crazy because I'm sure a lot of people don't really do that. Like they don't really reflect on like, you know, where they are and if they're growing or not. Like you should. If you don't, you should. It actually really helps, because like looking back on like who I was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, if I was that person now, I would be so much more like stressed. And I'm already stressed right now, but it would be a totally different level of stress, because those were things that needed to happen then, and I needed to get over them then so I could be prepared for who I am today. Like I couldn't bring that baggage into this season. It wouldn't have worked. I'd have been depressed. Like there's some things I had to like grow up and get over before I got to here. Some of the people I had in my life, some of the friendships I had could not come into this season with me. It wouldn't have worked. You know, it would have caused friction. Like some mentalities I had wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important for you to like be self-aware, know who you are, and like work on the things that you need to work on yourself, and try to, you know, heal as much as possible, because every life change will break you a little bit. You got to be ready for that.
Yep.
You got to be prepared for that. You can't just be like falling into a million pieces every time something happened and never picking yourself back up. You're not going to be able to progress, because life don't get easier. Unfortunately, yep. I wish I could tell you. You know, people like they have these like goals that they want to reach and these milestones they want to reach. Like, oh, if I just get to this. People are very goal oriented, and they're very like destination. What is that called? Like destination. They trying to get to the next thing. There's a name for it, but they be trying to get to the next thing all the time. And like, if you're not able to be content with where you are, you're always going to be striving for the next thing. But then like the next thing is going to have its problems too, and you're going to be disappointed every time if you think that if I get to this, then I'll just be happy. That don't exist. You're going to be chasing happiness for the rest of your life. You got to learn how to be content with what you got and focus on where you are in the moment.
Yep. Like Paul says, I've learned how to be content in every season.
I don't remember what scripture it is, but it says that you got to worry about today because tomorrow has its own problems.
Is that your vow?
No, my vow is actually Matthew 6, ESV, Matthew 6 and 24.
It's crazy because you're so close to the verse you just referenced.
Am I?
Matthew 6:34.
Do not be anxious. Okay. Cause I wasn't gonna say all this, cause this is all bars, but I wasn't gonna read all of it. Y'all just read it on your own. But it starts with Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. That was for me.
Another transliteration says God and mammon.
That was for me because I want some money. That's really it. I want some money. No, the thing is, I've been really like, I don't even know what the word is. Just kind of like not disappointed. Is disappointed the word? Discouraged? I don't know. But like, I had a lot of pride in myself for how I had, what is the word I'm trying to look for? I don't know. I feel like I had accomplished, before having a baby, I feel like I had accomplished a lot. And it seemed like as soon as I got pregnant, it all came crumbling down. All my accomplishments just, and it's not that they don't matter. It's just like earthly, worldly accomplishments are so futile.
It goes to show like how quick
they are, so
like this.
So don't mean anything. It's like the people who work really hard to get a degree and then you go get a job and your degree means nothing. Like that's how this feels to me.
You get a degree, but your job has nothing to do with your degree. Not even that, but like nowadays degrees don't even hold the same weight that they used to. Like the kind of job you can get now with a degree is the same. Like it's not certain, like, yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Degrees.
Yeah, no. Of course there are certain degrees you can get that obviously are going to skyrocket you into the hundreds of thousands. I don't know. But like what I feel like I had accomplished and worked really hard for, now it doesn't mean it I don't know. Because I don't want to say that being a mom has like, it did what I didn't want to happen. I feel like I've kind of like lost my sauce. And y'all are going to be like, no, you didn't. But I feel like I did. And this is just me being transparent. I feel like I lost my sauce. Like, you know, I was in my creator bag. And now like I don't do it like I used to. And I felt really good on vacation because that was my first time that I actually had time to like do that. You know what I mean? Like just be Vicky in front of the camera. Like, oh, this is my outfit. my new stylish robe. But I don't, now my brain doesn't think that way anymore. Like I'm like focused on a kid now. And so like I don't get the opportunity to like I can't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I want to make a video. Like it's not that simple anymore. Like now I have to think about all the things that I have to do to prepare for that. And then by the time I do all the preparing,
instinct, though.
By the time I do all the preparing, I'm tired and I don't want to do it.
But that's not bad.
It's not bad, but then at the same time, here's the thing. If I don't show up.
You've been accustomed to living a certain way.
Yes.
Being a certain way for such a long period of time. And then, the few years where, the business was really, booming, growing.
Was killing it. You know what I'm saying?
Things were going really well.
Killing it.
Plus, I had my job too, which was adding just extra. So we were kind of living in abundance.
Yeah.
And like, I was thinking about this too. I'll get back to your story. I was like, man, like, it was maybe like the last year or last 9 months of my job. Like, man, I was like, man, I bought these shoes and and it was like,
no, let's be clear.
Like high end shoes.
We was doing good.
I'll be like, bro, I'm gonna sell these.
No, but seriously, this is what I was thinking about because, and let's be clear. God provides. So we've been able to pay our bills every month and keep going. And there's food on the table. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm just like out here like,
Xander's good. We good.
But the thing about it is when you
it's just not as cushy as it is.
When you are a creative or you're a creator, like with the way that being an influencer works, like number one, it costs a lot. I'm just gonna be real about this. It costs a lot, like equipment, buying clothes and stuff to post about, buying makeup and all of that stuff, like that is expensive. So there's a lot that I used to do and spend money on willy-nilly that I can't do right now because we got a whole kid and we gotta, and now I've heaped on myself more business expenses. We tried to have a whole employee and then you came off your job. So we're trying to run this whole studio in the house, basically. It's a lot, okay? And on top of that, like I took a maternity leave when, I wasn't sure what that was going to look like for me. But when you take a break from social media for as long as I did, I didn't really take a break. I was still posting a little bit. But if you're not like super consistent and like showing up a lot,
oversharing and
not even oversharing, but just like I haven't been posting a lot this year. And I've been trying to like give myself a break, like give myself grace because I have been going through a lot, like mentally and emotionally. Like this is a lot for me to show up online and be myself. I needed time to figure out this mom thing and get myself together and stop pumping, and because it was a lot going on and my brain was just not able to create nothing. And that doesn't do well for engagement. So like in the algorithm's mind, I went missing basically, which isn't good for me. So like now I'm trying to like get myself back. Like, okay, I'm going to start posting again. I'm going to start, getting back into the swing of things. But like, it's not the same because I'm a whole different person and I have a whole human. And I'm like, oh, shoot. But the thing is, here's my problem too. Here's my problem. My problem is whenever I felt this way, I would just buy things. Like that's how I coped. Whenever I was like in a rut or like creatively, I just wasn't feeling, like, oh, like I'm not feeling like I know what I want to do, or like I feel like things are kind of not going my way. I would just buy things. That was my therapy. Retail therapy was my thing. Now I can't do that. I used to lean on money. Like I really had to think about this. Like I was really leaning on not necessarily material things, but just like the ability to do what I wanted felt good to me. You know what I mean? Like now I have to be more disciplined right now. So when I felt that way back then, when I was like, oh, I could just, I'm gonna just go take myself to eat and spend $50 on lunch today. Or, oh, I'm just gonna go downtown and spend $100 on my nails, $200 on my hair, get my lashes done. That's $150 a week or every 2 weeks. Like I was just doing a lot. It's expensive to be me. Oh, let me just go buy these Bottega boots. They're, $20 $1,200 today. Let's just $1,200 here, $1,500 there. Like, oh, let's just go on this $5,000 trip next week. Like that's how we were before Xander.
Trip.
Now, let's be clear.
It's not even that we were tripping. Like,
let's be clear.
We had the means.
We did. Let's be clear. I had savings. You know what I'm saying? I had my savings correct. My savings was looking good. It was right. So before y'all think that I was just be out here reckless, I definitely had my savings together. I had me and my CPA was working on the tax situation. Like, my taxes was right. Okay, so the finances, like I had my stocks and everything, like investing, boom, bam. But, you know, now I'm like, oh, shoot.
Sold all my crypto. Sold my Tesla
I still
shares.
have mine, but I don't know how to do all that really for real. I'm still learning about it, but it doesn't make sense to me.
My Tesla shares was booming. And
my Tesla shares was booming too.
If I would have bought my Tesla shares when I bought my Tesla, I'd be a millionaire. I literally would be a millionaire.
Now let's be clear. We did make some very smart decisions prior to getting pregnant that I feel like was God for real. Like the whole car situation, we paid off the Jeep and stuff. I was like, oh shoot, the Lord really did his big one with that one. Like, that made me cry. That one was like, because we really thought we was going to pay out of pocket to pay that car off, and we didn't. So, you know, we did some smart things, but at the same time, I do miss, you know, but then I had to think about it. I'm like, I cannot rely on spending to make me happy. I just can't. This is a lesson for me.
That's real.
The love of money was in me for a second. It was in me for a second. But hey, I've also learned to be content in every season. So, because at the end of the day, I still don't have a price. You know what I mean? You know how some people have a price? Some people have a price. Some of your faves have a price. Like, they'll do some stuff that they really shouldn't do for some money. Never will be me. Never will be me. I cannot be bought. I cannot be bought. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to say what I feel. I'm going to still be me. I ain't no sellout now. One thing about me. Because it's some stuff that I could do. You know what I'm saying? Knowing because I know what can get the views.
Yep.
And I know what could get the business booming, get the people talking. I know. Yep. But I refuse to do it.
Yep.
And I don't regret my decision. I would rather have nothing than sell out myself and my child and my husband. So, period.
Yep. This is a relationship.
No, it is now.
Like,
you don't see us typing out long captions talking about the ups and downs on our anniversary.
This is a real.
Come on now.
What does that mean?
What?
I don't get that.
You never seen them posts that are like, the couples who have the best relationships don't be posting long captions on their anniversary?
No, I've never seen that. You know, I've never.
Yeah, the girls be talking about that. They say that if you post a long caption on your anniversary and it talks about the ups and downs, that means that y'all relationship sucks.
Dang.
I don't think we've ever done that though. I think I used to post long captions about you every now and then, but it wouldn't be no ups and downs. We don't have downs, really.
I don't like long captions, period.
Me neither.
Because who finna read all that?
Me neither.
Like
every now and then I would.
Who's doing that?
Every now and then I will. I have like a little deep moment, but not all the time, man. I don't got that many words in me for y'all. I'm sorry.
In relation to your scripture, can you read your scripture again?
No one can serve two masters.
Okay.
For either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money.
All right.
And then it goes
Here
into
we go.
do not be anxious. Therefore, I tell you, do not be anxious about your life.
You ruined it. Start over.
But will you eat?
Read the verse again.
What will you drink?
And then
what will you put on your body? Is life not more than food? Y'all got to read this whole thing, man. It goes in, and then it goes all the way down to don't be anxious about tomorrow, because tomorrow got his own problems. But no one can serve two masters. You can't serve God and money. Boom.
You either love one.
You will either love one. You will either hate the one or love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other.
All right. Christian artist, stop making remixes of worldly songs.
Bruh, we heard one to Dan.
Stop making remixes of worldly songs and putting God's name on it.
It does not work.
And then here's the man, God, he the creator of everything. God can redeem anything. God could.
He don't want to redeem Under the Influence by Chris Brown. He don't want to redeem that. I'm sorry. If I hear you singing on that beat, I'm not gonna think about what you're saying. I'm gonna think about Chris Brown.
Because here's the thing.
And all the TikToks that people have made to that song, dancing like the freak of the week.
The first time people hear your remix, they're not going to think about Jesus.
No, they're not. I promise you they're not. Because I don't.
The first time they heard it. That is the power and the influence of music. It takes you back to the first time, or it takes you back to that memory, or it takes you back to that time that you had. You know what I'm talking about.
Bruh.
Or it takes you to a sad memory, or it takes you to, oh man, they played this song. Like,
it don't work, man.
So we can't make a gospel remix to Bump and Grind. Like,
no.
Like, oh yeah, this ain't Bump and Grind. This Jumping Tide. Like, no.
You cannot make a gospel remix to Water. Don't do it. Because I know some of y'all probably thinking about doing it right now.
That's going to be hard.
No.
If Water by Tyler is your inspiration for your next banger, delete it. Delete it right now. Delete it.
That's going to be the new baptism song.
Not baptism, please. Oh my God. I can't stand that, y'all. I'm so sorry. It does not work for me. It does not work for me. Because my brain will definitely, listen, it'll go straight to the song, the original song, and I will not be thinking about you at all. I won't be thinking about God. I'll be thinking about what that song, the original song, was about.
Yeah, that was my rant.
Sorry. Speaking of songs, I'm going to shameless plug Cam because he's not going to do it. Him and LaShawn wrote a great...
I need to just check. Keep going.
They wrote a great song the other day, and it's really good, and Cam is going to release it next week, and they're going to release it next week, and it should be up already. If it's not up already, please, in the comments, say LaShawn and Cam, drop the beat. Because people make these songs that they are not original and they just be using other people's songs and stuff. I want good original music that I can listen to, that I feel confident that the person who sang it has a pure heart. And Cam is one of them, and I really just want him to come out with some music. Okay, that's it. That's all. That's all I got.
But yeah, me and LaShawn, we wrote a very vulnerable song about, just the space that I've been in, and it's a song that's kind of different for me. It's the season I'm in, so I'm just embracing it. Hopefully, when y'all hear it, hopefully y'all like it. I mean, we love it. There's another battle that I struggle with. Vicky be, just post it. Once again, the pressures of being gifted. I love so many different things. If y'all see 75, if y'all see Monday through Saturday, I'm doing something different. Just like it.
Why does that need a disclaimer?
Just go with the flow.
Babe, I promise you, don't nobody care about that. You the only one that care about that. Don't nobody care about that.
I've tried to niche down. I can't. You can't box me in. You try to put me in a box.
Nobody cares as much as you think they do.
They try to put me in a box.
Do I need to pull out my list of things that I learned in my 20s? Nobody cares.
They try to put me in a box.
People are not thinking about you like that. I promise.
Does anybody watch Married at First Sight Australia? Can we talk about, did we say this already? Can we talk about how the cinematography, the audio, I mean, the sound,
everything is better.
The score, they score Married at First Sight Australia like it's a like legit TV show.
I mean, it is compared to ours.
But like they do it like it's like a Netflix docuseries.
Yeah, they do.
And the shows are long. Mm-hmm. So shout out to the producers, the editors, the technical directors.
It makes me want to go to Australia,
bro. The
go.
lighting, like
their weddings are better.
The honeymoons, their getaways, I mean, even the experts. I love Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal, he's still my guy. But like the collective experts.
Yes. And I like the way that they hold them accountable. They be holding it.
I love the weekly, like they do this weekly it's like a weekly reunion basically.
Yeah.
So you can't hide. Like you can't have your session alone with, we're talking to Pastor Cal today.
Yeah.
Like, nah, it'd be all three of them and it'd be the whole crew. So if one couple says XYZ was doing something,
I saw you out here doing something crazy.
Everybody up like, no, bro, you did that.
Ain't no he say, she say.
It's accountability.
Yep.
It's, no holds bar. You're not going to lie. We gonna keep it a buck. I love it.
It's great.
I love it.
I wish that America was on this level.
They're not.
Definitely not. Definitely not. It's really good though. It also has sparked a lot of conversation because they're holding them accountable. Like they make them, when they have their like weekly commitment ceremonies, they make them talk about what the issue is behind why they're having issues in their relationships, which is so important because a lot of people like just do stuff and they don't really get to the root of why they're doing those things. Or they may say, well, this is a trigger for me. Okay, but like you can't just act like that just because it triggered you. How do you have to see yourself. They say they're going to hold a mirror to we're going to hold a mirror to you. Like that's what a relationship should do. But a lot of people don't like actually follow through with that the way they should when they don't have people holding them accountable. So that's why it's so good on the show, because every week they're going to do that. They're going to like drill you like, okay, why did you make that decision? Like get to the point. Like don't just be beating around the bush saying a bunch of stuff. Why did you do that? And like, how do you really feel about this person? Like, what is this really coming from? Like, so it's like therapy. They getting therapy. So it'd be good. What did Lexus want us to talk about? She wanted us to talk about somebody. One of the girls.
How one particular person. Now we're 22 episodes.
We don't have to say nobody's name because we don't want to ruin it for y'all if you watch.
But one particular individual, she's self-sabotaging.
Oh yeah.
Because I've seen this in other couples that I know. I've seen it as a generalization in couples, right? And I'm not even gonna make it a sex thing, meaning male female. I've seen it happen in general. How, and we've talked about this before, people hear what they want to hear.
Your perception is your reality, like Milton said.
People hear what they want to hear. The girl is upset at the guy. The guy has continually expressed he's into her. He doesn't care that she has a child. Like he's really into her, and they haven't really had, for the most part.
Yeah,
you've watched every pretty much minute. I'll be in and out, whether I'm cooking or whatever. For the most part, I haven't seen them have any major problems.
No, they haven't. They really haven't. Every issue that she's brought up has not been an issue. It's been like I'm looking for something wrong kind of thing.
She even, like, her mom even grilled her, like, hey, so how are you feeling? He's like, I've told her from the get-go, like.
Right.
Like, I literally told the experts, I am cool.
But you haven't, like,
yeah, like
he said that.
We're in our mid-30s, bro. Like, I can't expect you not to have. And like, I got issues. I don't have a kid, but like, I got, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I got stuff that I'm bringing into the relationship. She continues to self-sabotage.
And she said she was gonna. She said it. She's like, yeah, I self-sabotage when things seem too good to be true.
So they're having this little, you know, she feeling like, I ain't seen you all day. We're in the same house with all the other couples on this retreat. You saw me. Well, what do you mean? Like, I thought you was having fun with the girl. Because she was kicking it with the girls heavy, too.
They was all kicking it.
Right? He
Having a
was
good old
kicking it with the
time.
guys on the tennis courts, playing tennis, whatever. She's like, yeah, last time I saw you were on the tennis court. He's like, okay, you saw
So
me in
you
the
saw
tennis.
me, so
like,
why
if
didn't
you wanted
you
to
come
spend
talk to
time,
me?
like, why don't you come over there? Or you were playing tennis. Like, if you say you want to, like, well, you should have known. I didn't see you. I was playing tennis.
But then she does this thing. She did this thing that a lot of girls do. Well, I didn't want to bring up how I really felt because I shouldn't have to tell you. I shouldn't have to tell you how I feel all the time. I shouldn't have to bring up all of my.
You should,
my
because
issues all
y'all
the
only
time.
been knowing each other for 4.5 weeks. It ain't like you've been married for 10 years.
But even if you have been married for 10 years, I'm not going to expect you to know how I feel all the time.
I know Avant, was it Avant or Joe? One of them said, I can read your mind. No, you can't.
That was Joe.
You can't. No, you can't.
Nobody can read minds. I literally.
You can't read, no.
See, we're back in my list. We're back in my list of things I learned in my 20s.
Can't read your mind.
Don't
I
nobody know
you
what
think.
you need unless you tell them. Nobody can read your mind. Nobody is thinking about you as much as they think about themselves. You have to tell people how you feel, and you can't the phone work both ways. Like you can't just expect people to like revolve their whole life around you. And well, I presume that she probably misses me right now. No man, I'm not even a man, and I know that y'all don't think that way. Y'all do not be sitting up thinking, I wonder if she's thinking about me and she misses me. Maybe I should go see what she's doing because she probably misses me right now.
No, I'm gonna be y'all want the real? I'm gonna be real. All right, I could be at the golf store, and I know it may be like an hour go by. Like, yeah, I said I was gonna be home and such and such.
Now, if you said you was gonna be home, then yeah,
Like,
you should keep account.
Man, I've been out for a little while. I should probably get, but it don't be. She misses me. Man, what? Get out of here.
But that's only because the only reason you think that way is because you know how I am. If you've been gone for a long time, I'm hungry. I probably ain't ate, and me and this kid been in the house, and I need you to come relieve me.
And when I do realize, or I know I've been out for, past the, not that it's like a grace period. She got me on a leash. Let's be clear, but just had to make
you on a leash if you
just
want
had to make that statement. But it's just me being considerate. Like, oh, are you hungry? Yes, I'm starving. Boom, like. That's how you.
And that's something you learn over time.
That
too.
is how I know they told you in school. This is how you prevent forest fires. But this right here, what I'm telling you, is how you prevent family fires.
This is something that you learn over time too. Like I don't know if we ever really talked about it, but it's something that you learned maybe like in the first couple of years of us being married. Like you was gone all the time for work. Like you have a long commute.
Right.
You'd be gone all day. You leave home, it's dark. Come home, it's dark. Like I never saw him when the sun was up. So like you had to learn like, okay, I got an hour before I get home. Like let me hit her up and see if she needs something. Like, are you good? Like, cause I mean, I was at the house by myself all day.
Yeah.
So.
And then I was traveling a lot. And so then.
That's something you learn over time. You don't just learn that in 5 minutes.
Things that also. Here we're going back to attraction. Also, I went on one little trip. And my mom's got scared. No, I'm just playing. I went on one trip and I was like, I see how certain people that are also on this trip, trying not to incriminate anyone, that are also on this trip. I see how
they're old and they don't follow you.
You'd be surprised. I see how certain people are moving. That, in this entire conference.
Let's be clear, these corporate guys.
I see how folks are moving. And you know what? I don't want to find myself in a compromising position, pun intended, again. So what I'm going to do is bring my wife with me on these trips.
Oh, I start going now. I start going.
We don't have a child. We don't got no dog. At the time, we don't have nothing that's preventing us from traveling. Like, I'm gonna bring my wife. Certain people will bring their wives in on the last day of the conference for the award ceremony. Like, no, my wife's gonna be there the whole time.
Mm-hmm. In the room waiting.
Because I know me.
Come up to this room.
I'm a young man.
I'll fight her.
I'm a handsome man, which means I'm a 7.
I'm a classic man.
7 at worst. I'm not a 10.
No, babe, rate yourself. What would you rate yourself?
I think I'm a 7.5. I think I'm an 8 with a cut. With a cut. I'm an 8 with a cut.
I'm gonna be honest. You're like a 9 with a beard.
Okay.
When your beard is right, you know how I feel about the beard. You got a haircut, your beard is right, your skin be glistening. You a good 9.
I take that. But like I said, I brought my wife because this was a job that I was a part of. I knew I was going to be in this for a while. So I'm not going to do stuff that's going to jeopardize the most important relationship that I have outside of God. That's me being considerate. And my wife enjoyed that. She traveled with me. She got to meet, we got to go to different cities, places we had been to in the States.
I was all at they work conferences, showing
He was
out.
there, kicking it.
Showing up in my
I be at my, all day in my, I can't even think of the name now.
Trade show.
At the trade show or different, when you go to breakout sessions, I'd be in those. She'd be kicking it, in a hotel room or, I walked through the city or whatever. Like
I was out catching Ubers.
Kicking it.
I was kicking it. Which city we going to next?
I'd rather have her there with me than me out doing whatever I want to do, having all this fun, and she's here at home by herself. Like, come on, bro. That just it just didn't sit right with me. So there are certain ways that you go about these things. Now, this particular gentleman was being very emotionally available. He was emotionally intelligent. Now, he said a phrase that we talked about as well. He said, "I'm sorry you feel that way," instead of "I'm sorry."
But he didn't say it like
he didn't say it in a nasty way, but he did say he did say, "I'm sorry you feel that way." Am I correct, Dan?
The wording was a little different. I think he said, "I'm sorry if you feel like."
No, he said, "I'm sorry you feel that way."
Oh, dang!
But he said it he's like, "Well, I'm sorry." He said, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way." That's exactly what he said.
He followed it with something like.
He's like, but
yeah.
He cleaned it up.
He cleaned it up.
He's like, but what? He's like, I'm not intentionally trying to hurt you or intentionally ignoring you, whatever.
He was being really nice about it.
He was being super nice. Then she goes back. She about to cry. He says, "Can I hug you?" No. Okay, you're being cold. Once you do that to a guy, certain things shut off in his brain. He may want to do the right thing. Certain things shut off. Like when you do certain things, for instance, today, we airing our dirty laundry. It ain't really dirty.
It's a little dingy, just a little bit.
Vicky had thawed out some milk earlier in the day and gave it to Xander. She left the, I don't even know what they're called, the container things that you would put the breast milk in.
Bag.
She left one out that had been out. Now I came down, so I knew Xander was hungry. Came down, we about to get ready to go shoot content. I'm like, he been eating a lot more. He's growing. I was like, let me thaw this joint out. Thawed it out. I then poured the milk into the bottle and then gave him the bottle. Or I forgot. I took him upstairs because he been fussy lately. Took him upstairs and gave him the bottle and then started getting ready. And then when I came back downstairs, I forgot to throw it away. She comes down. She sees it. You always leaving stuff out. Whoa, no, I don't. Let's be clear, because this been sitting on the counter since I left the house this morning. So, like there are certain ways you have to communicate. Like you can't do something and then because now I'm gonna get on you, And what the guy did, he went back to his mates. He got on with his mates. And she got on with her gals. Did they call the women mates too? I don't know.
No.
She talking back with the girls like
the girls.
Yeah, and he says, "I'm sorry you feel that way." He did not say that. Now, even though those are the exact words, you put a different intent behind what he said, and
Right.
that's not what
how he
happened.
said it. Yeah, that's not what happened.
And there's also couples do this all the time when they're like mocking each other or repeating what someone said. They change the voice to a voice that makes them the antagonist.
Right. Incriminizes.
I'm not the enemy here. Like why did you say? And sometimes you would do this too. Like, oh, where you going with that on? Like, like, number one, I don't talk like that.
Okay, so first of all, I do that for dramatic effect because it's funny. Okay, everything 9 times out of 10 don't take me seriously because clearly I just be talking out the side of my neck sometimes. So I'm gonna put a voice on it because it makes it more funny. It's like comedic relief. It's banter. You know what I mean? Banter. It's just a little banter. It's hilarious. It's playful when I do it. I don't do it to like make you sound dumb because some people do that to make them sound like, oh, he's just, no.
Yeah, absolutely funny. But yeah, y'all go watch MAFS Australia.
But that's something. It's something to be said because like when you go into a relationship, you do have to understand perception. Because perception is everything. Like, we're not always going to see things the same. Like, you saying something. That's why communicating is so important when you're, like, not mad. Like, communicating from a calm place. Because things can be taken totally different just based on how you see things from your perspective when that's not even what you said. Well,
hey, it's been a great pod. Listen, I'll say this last thing. As my nose literally like just tries to shut. I don't, Satan, I rebuke you.
You guys should like, if you ever have boy problems, y'all should send it and then ask Cam to translate. Because a lot of times women don't speak man.
No.
And they don't be
99% of the time.
They don't be knowing what men be saying when they be saying certain stuff. Like, what does that? They be like, what does that mean? Like, what does he mean by that? 9 times out of 10, it's very easy to understand. Y'all just be like seeing it from a totally different perspective. That's not what the perspective really is because he's like telling you the truth. But y'all don't want to hear it that way. But like sometimes they need a male perspective. So if y'all need a male perspective, I'm giving you permission to ask my husband. Not that you couldn't, but girls sometimes feel like they can't ask guys things directly. That's like a which is respectful actually, because I noticed like most people I know who are respectful, we do this thing. We're like, we're not gonna ask somebody else's husband something directly. Like it's gonna be in a group chat. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna like my friends wouldn't text you directly about something. They would text me first and ask, or they would just send it in the group chat. But really, it was meant for you. But you know what I'm saying? That's like a respect thing.
I don't know.
You don't do that?
Lex's friends do that all the time.
Yeah, like
If they got a like relationship question, they'll like ask it to all
the group.
What do y'all boyfriends think about this?
No, okay.
But Lex's friends, they ask too many questions.
If y'all are watching, we love y'all.
Y'all watching this.
Y'all do ask like they ask good questions though.
They're from what Vicky says,
like questions.
They're good.
I like questions.
But from the stuff I be hearing, I be like, ooh wee.
Girls have a lot of thoughts.
Praying for y'all future husbands.
We have a lot of thoughts. We just be wanting to know stuff. This is why I ask you questions all the time.
You do.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
I think I'm gonna do a class. But I learned that from my dad. You do have to have like a good amount of knowledge of a plethora of things. So when your wife starts asking you all these questions, you can start piecing certain things together.
Again, we do this because we are entrusting you with finding the answer for us because we want to be the weaker vessel. Well, I do. I want to be the weaker vessel. I do not want to know everything and you don't know what's going on. Like, I want you to know for me so I don't have to think about it.
You're the weaker vessel regardless.
I want you to take some of the load of thinking off of me. So when I ask you stuff, it's because I don't want to think about it. I want you to think about it and tell me. You take the wheel. You in charge. You know what I'm saying?
Put your hands on the wheel.
Sometimes I just want to be.
Say I'm in charge.
I just want to be told what to do.
I'm in charge.
You know.
If y'all get that reference.
Sometimes I just want you to be like.
I don't have very
Hey, woman.
many movie references,
He doesn't.
but the ones that I do.
There's only like 4 movies that you ever quote.
Name them.
Your favorite movie is Denzel. Shoot, I can't think of the name right now. It's
American Gangster.
American Gangster. He quotes American Gangster all the time. What you just
That's
quoted.
$50,000 out. You don't wipe that. You blot that.
You never seen American Gangster?
What?
Never.
As soon as I get off this fast. We have the DVD too.
Do we? Who uses DVDs?
Oh, you really like that movie.
What? Because I when I was in college, I had my little 24-inch TV in my room.
That's the only movie he watches over and over
And
again.
I had some DVDs that people would send me and stuff. And then I got that, and
Why are you laughing?
I got that DVD and the tie-dyes documentary when they was Crump.
The Crump documentary?
I got the Crump documentary out of Walmart. It was in like the $3 bin.
Babe, one day you got to show everybody your Crump.
That will never happen.
We can have a Crump. We can have a Crump
That
battle.
will never happen.
You can have a Crump battle.
This is why it's mindful. Kids, y'all gotta be mindful. Just because a lot of people, this will preach to. Just because a lot of people start comparing you to somebody does not mean that you need to then be what they compare you
Do it for
to.
Little Saint.
Because I really thought I was this one particular person. I'm not gonna say it because y'all can be like, you do look like him. I'm not even gonna give you the weapon. You can't use it if I don't give it to you. My God, today. But yeah, American Gangster, man. Okay, so keep going. That's one. American Gangster.
Put your hands on the wheel. Say I'm in charge. That is
Hustle and Fall.
Hustling. Stop. I was almost there. I was gonna say Eyes.
He was taking too long.
I was gonna say Eyes. Light skinned dude with the eyes. That's his movie.
Iron Man.
Iron Man. And then you quote actually 2. Really only 2.
Because I was about to say.
I'm trying to think of other ones.
I don't know 4 movies that I can quote.
Lion King, maybe. You say Simba a lot. Simba.
That's because James Earl Jones' voice, man. He just.
Yeah.
But I can quote.
You quote Black Panther sometimes too.
Black Panther's movie that I can. Like,
You've watched. Well, we
y'all
saw
know-
it like 4 times in theaters.
Y'all know I don't watch movies over and over again. Black Panther's one of those movies I can watch over and over again.
That's because you don't have mental health issues. It's okay. Some of us are being delivered. They say that's like a mental health thing when you watch the same thing over and over again because it doesn't stress you out.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
I do that to go to sleep.
It's like a comfort thing.
I can't do that. Mayava.
Like I'd rather watch something I've already watched before.
Mayava.
You cannot have it.
Upimbe. Upimbe.
Remember when Black Panther came out? How like hyped we were.
Bro, we went to the theater.
What a time!
Dressed up. That's how
we
you
were
know.
dressed up. We listened to the whole like score in the car, like the score from
That
the
is
movie.
how
The
you
drums.
know.
House sounded like that for a month.
Hey, listen. Kevin on Stage talked about this. Other creators are talking about this. We are going to be doing more and more. I know we've been saying it, but we traveled the week that we were supposed to do our live. We're going to be doing more and more things on Patreon. Okay?
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Algorithms are getting funky, but Patreon never fails. So we will be doing more and more things on Patreon. So make sure y'all hit the link in the description box to become a part of WeFam. We'll see y'all.
We want to do the lives. This is the thing. We want to do the lives with y'all, but y'all got to show up. Because
Yeah.
if it's only like 5 people on there, then it be dry, and
Yeah.
then you be like, well, dang, we might as well go live with everybody. But
Right.
then that kind of defeats the purpose for y'all, having the exclusive.
Yeah, because I put the poll. I said, what's the best time? Y'all said Thursday. I said, okay, what's a good time? 6, 7, or 8? Y'all was like,
We have to like pick a day and stick to it so y'all know.
I was like 8. Well, 8 is kind of late for Xander. So then we was like 7:30. We hopped on at 7:30. People didn't really start coming in. No, half people said 6. Half people said 8 or something like that. So we said 7:30 was a good time. It was like 5 of y'all on there. So
we got to come up with a good schedule
it
for
wasn't
y'all.
5,
guys.
but still.
We got to make it happen.
Yeah, so we gonna do that, man. We just trying to grow the family. We just trying to grow to everything as we fam, and be all we can be, cause we been where we been.
Cause you can do what you want to do.
In living, cause that what I was quoting was a quote from In Living Color. He said, "Yeah, I've been what I've been. It ain't been good enough."
Look at you quoting In Living Color.
Homie, don't play that.
Where is it at? Somebody needs to put it on streaming because I want to watch that. But all right.
Hey, love y'all. God bless y'all. We'll see y'all again on another episode of Everything Is We. Peace.
Dan, do you know what In Living Color is?